The lesson today is going to be human impact on the environment. So we're going to take a look at that, and we're going to do a video lesson to do it. So read along on your sheet of paper as I read out loud. All living things have an impact on the world around them. And because all living things are interdependent, as I just underlined, they have an impact on other living things on our planet. That means they affect one another. They rely on one another, and changes in one population can make changes in other populations. So there's all sorts of connections going on there. Humans are living things, so it is needless to say that we too have an impact on the world around us. Human impact on the environment includes the effect we have on environments, biodiversity, and other resources. The impact human activity has on the environment is a direct result of our needs as well as our population size. Okay? So why don't you take a couple seconds and think about what our needs are and what our population size is. So what are our needs? Well, some of them are food, shelter, and energy, and lots of it. We need energy to heat our house, turn on our TV, and to drive our cars. Our population size right now is over 7 billion. So there's over 7 billion people on this planet. We're actually approaching 8 billion people. So let's take a look at human population growth and how our population has grown so large. Let's read the introduction together, or I'll read it out loud, you read along quietly. So, prior to 1950, the human death rate was high, which kept the numbers of humans from increasing rapidly. However, many innovative changes have caused a decline in the human death rate. The agricultural revolution increased food production. The industrial revolution improved methods of transporting food and other goods. Advances in medicine, sanitation, and nutrition have further decreased death rate. These factors have combined to produce the rapid growth of the human population we are seeing today. As with any population, humans are limited by factors such as space, amount of food, and disease. We call these factors limiting factors, and they're factors that restrict a population size. The carrying capacity is the number of individuals that a stable environment can support. Authorities disagree on the maximum number of people that the Earth can support, though the numbers generally range between 8 and 10 billion. This is an important concept because as our population approaches its carrying capacity, we have to be sure that we're not going to exhaust the resources Earth provides for us. In order to do that, we have to start considering living more sustainably. Let's take a look at this video clip. Alright, so after watching that video, one thing that we have to concern ourselves with as a society, as a population of people, is living sustainably, which means living in a manner in which Earth can continue to support our population size without becoming exhausted. Alright, now that we've seen that, let's move on to this activity. An important term here is growth rate. Growth rate is the number of people born minus the number of people that die. If more people are born than people that die, then our population increases. Zero population growth means there are as many people being born as there are dying. Alright? So let's move on to the activity in which we'll graph our population size. Okay, so let's look at the procedure for graphing. We're going to ignore step 1 for now. I'm going to rename the graph. But 2, place time on the x-axis. Okay, we're going to place time on the x-axis. And our values should range from 1650 to 2020, as I underline. So that's going to be on the x-axis. Now procedure step 3 says place the number of people on the y-axis, and the values should range from 0 to 20. So for this graph, our origin is going to be 0 for the y-axis and 1650 for the x-axis. Okay? Remember, our population is in billions. Our smallest year is 1650, and our smallest number of people is 0.5 in billions. We want to take that into consideration when we label our origin. Okay, so we're going to label the y-axis, number of people, and that's going to be in billions, so we want to write that down. Then we're going to label our x-axis, which is going to be time, and unfortunately, because of the way I saved this video as a widescreen, you can't see it. The origin for the x-axis, because it's time, we want to start at 1650, and on the y-axis, we want to start at 0. Okay, and we're going to title the graph, and you'll see that in a couple seconds, or right now, human population growth. Okay, now take the next 10 minutes or 15 minutes to graph this graph and answer all the questions attached.